I work with girls ages 10 to 17. We have a group of girls here of those ages. They are the strongest feminists I have ever met in my life. Partly they're strong because of all the struggles that the older women have made for them, and they expect to have the opportunity to fulfill themselves in their life. Girls desperately need our time, our willingness, our patience. It's not easy work hanging out all the time with 10 to 17-year-olds. And I have learned a huge amount from these girls, and I would like to ask everyone to consider doing that with a girl. Yes, yes.
We have come to realize that we have the confidence of others who have paved the way for us. Furthermore, they have strengthened the confidence in ourselves that those paths in which we have taken will lead us to where we need to go.
When I have problems or when things are going on in my life that I might not even think to tell my mother about, because as you become a teenager and you get older, you just don't share everything with your parents. It's not on purpose, you just don't.
I thank God for Aisha's mentor, Allison, within our lives, because there are points within the mother-daughter relationship where it becomes so very hard to talk. And it's not so much that the trust goes away, but it's an understanding that there are those very personal things that happen, even with the lives of your daughters, that they don't want to share. And that as a mother, it's hard to be on the outside, but it's comforting to know that your daughter has enough of a belief and enough of a relationship with other women, in our case, whom we call mentors, to be able to have them nurture her in ways and in spaces and places where I can't.
My role in rites of passage happens to be that as a senior mentor, or in other words, an elder. Life pushes you along that road, and as that role, you give advice. You listen. You try to let the person see the past as well as the present and also the future. You try to show them laughter. You try to make them understand that they are part of a larger piece.
De desnutrición en los niños que se quedan, en las niñas que se quedan analfabetas. Ellas deben poner los ojos, no deben olvidarse.
What the world needs to look at and be more concerned about rather than building bombs and armaments is in children of the world who are hungry, who are beggars in the street, who are abandoned in the street, who are illiterate, their mothers who don't have the capacity and the resources to raise them adequately, not even adequately, that we need to really change our focus in the world and place a lot more of our attention and our money and the investment of our resources in the development and the care and the nutrition and the investment that counts, which is in the children and in women and in families, because that's what's going to make and create our future.
Platform for Action sits on three legs: equality, development, and peace. I've been trying to promote peace. Because women are calling for the introduction of peace studies to curricula throughout the world. Just as we teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, why don't we teach peace? If we're going to have a peaceful generation in the next century, we have to create peacemakers. Peace is taught, it's learned, it's not natural. We have war colleges, we need peace colleges. We ought to leave our GATs at the door to the 21st century. The guns and the nukes and the bombers and the missiles and the war culture should really be left behind. So women are going to be enforcing standards, enforcing human rights, and demanding peace. Because if we don't have peace, we can't have development. If we don't have peace, we can't have anything.
talk about minorities in our countries, you're talking about racism. And I think at some point we really need to look and see. I was put into a concentration camp during World War II by our government because of racism. And I know that we have been fighting against racism, but today in California, for example, the racism has become so prevalent, especially against immigrant women. And I think that this is something that we need to incorporate in terms of how do we deal with racism within our own groups.
I have been to countless of these kinds of rallies, conferences, where the issue of race is just glossed over. This sister just brought it up and it was like, oh yeah, okay, moving right along. Let me tell you a story. My grandmother worked for a feminist who marched in rallies while she scrubbed that woman's floor. So please do not gloss over this problem of racism within the movement.
We got to be clear about criteria and values. We have to say this is what feminism stands for. And anti-racism, anti-ethnic prejudice is one of the things that we have to keep in the forefront.
Thrilled to be out here with all of you. You're doing fabulous work, and as people ask me, how does the message from Beijing get translated, I really say it gets translated through the NGOs. The NGOs are the grassroots operation. This is how the message is going to get out from village to village and city to city and country to country. So hats off to you. NGOs are very much a part of all the work that the U.S. government and the United Nations does. So thank you very, very much.
Former New Jersey Governor Tom Kean of the U.S. delegation briefed NGO participants daily on the governmental proceedings.
I had no idea the depth of the problem, for instance, on inheritance for a woman in parts of the world. I just didn't understand that. I didn't understand the depth of the fact that women are still being sold in many parts of the world. What I guess I've learned here is that we have to go way beyond the women's movement in the United States and carry the issue of justice and human rights around the world.
From what you've heard here, would you say that there is a global women's movement?
Oh, listen, I think that is going to be the effect of this conference. The result of this conference is what's going on around us today.
This particular conference is a referendum on the role that women will play in the 21st century in shaping and helping to form these new directions that we must take. Whether you are addressing issues of poverty, education, health, violence against women, etc., all of these are issues of women's access to full humanity, to full human rights, to the conditions, as Winnie said, to exercise their political rights, and to the responsibility to have a new vision that goes beyond the one that we have inherited for where we want to go in the world. I think of these world conferences as global town meetings. They are opportunities where we meet and get to talk to each other across lines of nationality, across lines that we often don't have other opportunities to cross. But as global town meetings, they are also occasions for us to show the world the visions. Looking at the world through women's eyes, I think, is an excellent slogan for this forum, because this is the moment when we must show the visions of the world that come from the eyes of women.
We bring new ideas, we bring wisdom of the years. Looks like the world could use another point of view. Oh, it's time to raise our voices. Take a look at the world through women's eyes. Take a look, see a new world on the rise. Take a look at the world through